Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, today's video is going to be about my labor and delivery story. So, I was supposed to do a labor and delivery vlog, but my delivery didn't go as planned. Like, it didn't go what it was supposed to go. So, let me get started. So, Monday night, which was the 7th, Monday night, I was having like the worst contractions ever. Like, they wasn't like as bad, but they were like worse or whatever. They was bad. So that whole night, they were like coming like back to back to back, and it was just like it was so bad to the point where in the middle of the night I couldn't even sleep. Like, they were horrible pain, like really bad. So I decided to just try to sleep, to like sleep it off and ignore it, but it just I couldn't, because it was just too bad. It was too bad. So I didn't really get any sleep like that, because they were just painful. Like, I couldn't get comfortable or none of that. So I waited till the morning. So Tuesday morning, Monday night, my grandma had called me, I believe, and I told her I was like having like really bad back pain or whatever. She's like, okay, well, just time them and then let me know, like, if they get worse. But by the time they got worse, it was like 10 something, almost 11. I knew my grandma was already asleep. So I started timing them. So, okay, so I started timing them, and they were like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes. They were like, but they were like very bad. So Tuesday morning came, but the whole Monday night I was like leaking like this brown like fluid or whatever, and they said it was my mucus plug, but yeah, it was my mucus plug, and it was leaking with fluid and all that. So, and I also had blood in it. So when the next morning came, the contractions were like even worse. Like, I was trying to get up, move around, all that to like make it like stop or whatever, to see if it feel a little better, but it didn't. It didn't at all. So I'm just like, okay. So I decided to call my nurse. I called my nurse, and I called one of the nurses there, because my nurse didn't. I don't have her exact phone number. I just have my doctor's office phone number. So I told them to get me, to the nearest nurse that was on the floor, or whatever. And I told her like I was like leaking, and I had blood. It was brown fluid, and there was blood in it. And she was like, "How many weeks are you?" I said, "I'm 39 weeks in 2 days." So she like, okay, well, you need to go in right away. I'm gonna send your information over. So I'm like, okay. So my mom is downstairs getting ready to take my brother to school. So I call my mom like, when you get back, we need to go to the hospital. The nurse said I need to go in. So my grandma called me, and she like, I'm on my way. So I'm okay. So I get up, I get dressed, and I get her car seat, I get her hospital bag, my hospital bag. I'm like getting everything together, like I'm grabbing everything. So my mom and my brother come back, couldn't stay at school, whatever. So my mom and my brother come back. My grandma pulls up. My mom and them get all the stuff, and like I'm still having contractions like as we go. So I get in the front seat, just like give myself a little more room. So I get in the front seat. So we arrived to the hospital, and we waited for a nurse to come down to get me. My mom and them had grabbed the wheelchair, and I was in there, and still having contractions. So they rolled me upstairs. Once I got upstairs, they hooked me up to the monitors and stuff to listen to her heartbeat and all that, and to time, like, to see, watch my contractions or whatever. When I went in, they checked me. I was 1 centimeter dilated, so they told me I should go and walk for 30 minutes. So I'm thinking like it's not gonna work, because I've been to the hospital a week before twice in the row, and they told me to walk, all that, and it didn't work. Like, I was having like really bad contractions, and I was still leaking. So They told me it wasn't my water I was leaking. It was just my fluid. I mean, not my fluid, but my mucus plug. So I walked around for about 10 minutes because I couldn't do it no more because it was just too painful. And my nurse told me, I mean, not my nurse, but the lady told me, like, if it gets too bad, then you can come back to the room and we'll hook you back up. So it just, like, got too bad. So the lady, I went back to the room. Me and my mom went back to the room. And we sat in there and they hooked me back up. And I still have contraction. Like, it was so bad. I was crying. Like, it was just horrible. So they sent the doctor in and she came to check me. So I'm like, okay. And as she checked me, I'm having a contraction. So the pain is just very painful. Like, I'm telling her, like, no, you need to stop. I can stop. She was like, okay, well, you're 3 centimeters dilated. So we're just going to keep you. So you're like, all right. So I get in the wheelchair and they take me to my room. And once I got to my room, they got me all settled in, hooked up, and all of that. So I had to wait a minute. Like, I had to wait a couple minutes. So my brother, my grandma, my mom came into the room. And so we're just sitting there. And then that's when they came in to do my IV and stuff. So they came in, did my IV and all that. They had did everything. So we were just waiting for me to dilate a little more. So, are you waking up? She about to start fussing y'all because she finna be hungry. She been sleeping for a long time. But yeah. So after about they waited another hour. So after about an hour, I was at 4 centimeters, and I think it was like 70% effaced or whatever. So they like, okay, um, you've been here for a while. We just gonna keep waiting. So we waited another hour. I was still only 4 centimeters. So they decided that they came, all the doctors came in and they were all talking. We were all talking. And it was like, well, we're going to let you eat. And then after that, we're going to see how things go. So I had ate. I had ordered me some food or whatever. I didn't like it. It was disgusting. So I didn't really eat anything. I just drank the apple juice. And I think I ate some fruit. I think I did. All I know is I recorded a video, so I will put like the clips in at the end of this video, and I will insert some of her pictures. But yeah. So after a while, they decided, they came back in to check me again. I was still only 4 centimeters. So they was like, okay, so the plan is to give you an epidural and then, break your water and get you on the Pitocin so we can get everything situated or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So I get what they call the anesthesia dude. So he comes in and my grandma stays in the room with me. So I get my epidural, which didn't really hurt. Like, it just, only thing really like made me like that really hurt it was when they were numbing me, and he was like, you're gonna feel like a sting and burning. Like, I felt that. I was like, ooh, like my body just jumped. It was just a horrible feeling ever. I just felt everything. I was like, oh no. But when he was putting the epidural in, I didn't feel anything really like that. It wasn't that bad. I just felt like a pop in my back or whatever. So after that, I lay down, and then like 5 minutes later, they came in and inserted my catheter, whatever it's called, so I can pee, whatever. By the time they came, so about 15 minutes after that, that's when my body like completely went numb at the bottom, like everything was numb, and I started to like shake like really bad, like shake so bad, it was just horrible. Like, I was shaking so bad, and they was like, you got to try to calm yourself down because you're going to shake yourself too bad. You're going to make yourself tired. So whatever medicine they gave me, I was just so drowsy. Like, I couldn't stay awake. Like, I just kept going back to sleep. I couldn't stay awake. So after that, we're just waiting to see if I dilate. And I wasn't dilating. I was still at 4. So after being like there for like 3-4 hours and still only dilated to like 4 centimeters, it was just getting tiring. And the doctors was like, they were coming in like, just in case we have to do, then we might have to do a C-section and all that. So after they did my epidural, 10, 15 minutes after that, they, they popped my water. And then that's when the doctors left out the room for a while, just, waiting. Hopefully I would dilate. But I still didn't. So they came in and they were talking about I probably was going to have to get a C-section if I don't dilate enough. In about an hour or two, they're going to give me another hour or two. So an hour or two passed by. I finally dilated to 6 centimeters. So they like, oh yeah, you're 6. So now everything's going to start going quickly. You'll be at 10 in about 3, 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours from now. So I'm like, okay, good. So they come in and like, well, you're not gonna have to get the C-section, so that's good. And they were letting me know, so I'm like, okay. But it was just so much pain. I was just like, I want to just get this over with. I don't even care what we do. I want to just get it over with because I was just so done with it. My body was just so numb. I was so drowsy. I couldn't stay woke. My eyes wouldn't stay open or none of that. And then my left side of my body kept, like, the epidural kept wearing off. So I had to constantly, like, press the button to get some more medicine. So I pressed the button one time. It did it again on my left side. My right side. Then my body started to get, like, really, really hot. Like, so hot. Like, when the doctors touched me, it was, like, really, really hot. And they were like, we're gonna check your fever. And they checked me, and they was like, my fever was really, really high. It was like 100 or something. I think like 109 or something. Like, my fever was really high. And then her heart started beating like really fast. It was like 172, 175. And my heart was going up fast as well. So they like concerned about it. So they like, they come in like, we're gonna prepare you just in case you have to do the C-section or whatever. So they shaved me, and then they waited. After a while, they came back in and checked me again, and they was like, what time was this? About 8 o'clock in the morning or something like that. By the time when they checked me, or it was like, I think about 7 or 8. I don't remember, y'all, because I was just so drugged up. I don't can't really just remember anything because I could have barely kept my eyes closed. So they come in about an hour or two later. It's the morning, and they decided to that they were gonna just take me to get a C-section. So they had to come in and they had to give me some medicine I had to take to renumb, to get me prepared for it. And they also had put the surgery little bonnet thing on my head. And my mom and them had to get all the bags and take them into the other room for them to be locked up while I'm going out to have my C-section. And my mom was the one who came back there with me. So all I remember is me being dragged out the room, and me just coming in and out. Just I was just in and out the whole time, just in and out. So I get inside the surgery room, and mind you, my whole body just completely numbed up. Everything's just numbed. I'm shaking, just shaking, just nonstop. It was just horrible. This was my body. It was just shaking. And my grandma was like, why is she shaking like that? And they was like, oh, that's just her hormones from the epidural or whatever. And it had me shaking really, really bad. I was shaking bad. I couldn't even breathe. I was just shaking so hard. So before all of this happened, they did come in and get me on they put the oxygen mask on my face because I was shaking so bad to the point I really couldn't breathe. So they had that on me, and they were flipping me side to side when I was on my epidural to get me to dilate more, but that stuff didn't work. They were doing everything to try to get me to dilate, but it wouldn't work. So that's when I decided on the C-section about 7 something, almost 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going in for my C-section. All I see is just these really bright lights. And they pick me up and put me on the table. And my body's just all numb at the bottom, so I don't just feel anything. But I'm also drowsy, and the lights were so bright, it just made it so much worse for me to stay woke. So the whole time I'm getting cut open, I am asleep. I'm just out of it. not there at all. And most of the time when I was coming in, every time like I did like wake up most of the time, they were like doctors in my face. They were trying to like wake me up and all that. But I wouldn't get up because it's like, you gotta be woke for this. You gotta be woke. I'm like, I can't. Like, I just couldn't get my body to stay woke. Like, I couldn't get my eyes to stay open. None of it. So after that, um, when I finally woke up, when I like, well, I wasn't really woke, but when I came in again, that's when my mom was like, you don't hear her crying, you hear her crying. I'm like, no. So I know I'm out again. So I come back in again. And then that's when, um, I'm sorry, I'm looking at this TV. Then that's when I started hearing her crying. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I can hear her crying, but I couldn't really talk. Like, it was that bad. I just couldn't talk. So after that, um, that's when I was up a little bit and the doctors came over and my mom had to, they had, all I know is my mom was sitting behind me. She was talking to me, but I just couldn't respond to her. Like, I couldn't respond. My eyes, like, couldn't stay open or none of that. So that's when she had walked off. They had walked her over there to cut her umbilical cord. And I can hear her crying. And I just, like, I just didn't have no emotion because my body was so numb. I couldn't stay woke. I couldn't talk. No, none of that. It's just, nothing felt right. So that's when I was like, every time I woke up, I'm like, okay, is it over? Is it over? Mom's like, no, they're not done yet. And I said, that's like, is y'all done yet? Please, y'all done yet? Even though, like, I didn't feel, I just didn't want to be in the room no more because the lights were so bright. So by the time I actually came back, I went out again. So by the time I came back in, they were getting ready. They was finishing up. And then when I woke back up, I'm like, they were like, the whole time trying to get my arms to lay flat, but they kept just falling off the table because I'm telling y'all, like, my whole body was just weak. Like, I couldn't do nothing. So when I woke up, they had my arms pinned down to the table. So when it was time, when they finally got everything done, they undid my arms and all. I'm like, what the hell? So they get me on the thing, so I get to. They didn't have my recovery room ready yet, so I was inside of this room where I think it was like some type of room. It had other beds and stuff in there. Had the water machine in there for me to get ice and water. It had two computers. It was like a little office, but it was really big and it had cabinets and stuff. The beds was blocking the doors. Like, it was just so much. I felt like I was in a storage room, and they just like dragged me in the storage room and we just sit in there. So they had took the baby and took her to the ICU and ICU because she wasn't breathing that good because of the infection. And so what I didn't tell y'all was after they gave Pop my water, I got an infection, which caused her heart rate to go up, my heart rate to go up, and caused me to have a fever, and everything was just horrible. So I had no choice but to get a C-section. So after that, I was in the room. I still was going in and out, and I finally was able like to get up. Like, I was up, and then I was like asking them like, where my baby and that, like, how much does she weigh and all that stuff. Like, they was like, they didn't know because they took her straight to the ICU and they didn't know anything. So by time about about an hour or so later, they were like, I asked them like what time I'm going to my cover room because it's about 10 something now, and she was like about 11:30 or whatever. So I'm like, okay, so I'm just waiting. My home nurse came to visit me. Um, yeah, they came to visit me, and I was asking them like, would I be able to go see my baby once I get to my room or whatever? They was like, yeah, once you get to your room, you'll be able to do everything. So after a while, I'm still up. I was up the whole ride to my recovery room. And then that's when on our way there, one of the nurses got a call like they're bringing the baby up. She don't have to stay in the NICU. She's doing perfectly fine and all that. And I was just like so happy. I'm like, yay, I can finally see my baby, because when I seen her, I was drowsy. So I really too much wasn't like in it to know anything. But I just knew my mom was like, she have a lot of hair, but I really didn't see anything. I just seen her face and she was staring at me, just staring at me. And I just looked at her like once, and my eyes went closed once again. So after that, they brought her upstairs from the NICU, and y'all, I was just so happy to see my baby. Like, I was so happy. Then inside the room that I was in before my recovery room, I had to call my mom and let them know what room I was going to, and that's when they told me everything. So she was born January 9th, 2019 on a Wednesday at 8:49 in the morning, and she weighed 6 pounds and 5 ounces. But she's so little, like she's a little 6-pound baby. We were in the hospital for 3 days, so I went home Saturday. I came home Saturday, but I was just like, I didn't want to put her down. I didn't want them to take her out the room or none of that, but I know she had stuff to be done. So, y'all, I was just like, it was like the best day of my life. I just didn't like that. My labor and delivery didn't go as planned, but hey, as long as I got my baby, I really didn't care. I was supposed to vlog for you guys and everything. Like, the one video I did get, I was like still drugged up, but it wasn't to the point where, um, it wasn't to the point where I couldn't, like I kept going out. It wasn't to that point. But I'm sorry, you guys can't see. But I'm trying to get her. She don't want to get up, and I think your diaper's dirty. But yeah, you guys. So this is Amani Kamora Alexis Baldwin. So yeah, she has my last name. She be mugging y'all, and she has so much freaking hair. Like, I'm just in love with it. Like, my baby girl has so much hair, and it's so long. It's very long. She probably like, Mommy, why are you doing all of this to me? What are you doing? See, you guys, she's so little, and this is 3 months, and she can't even barely fit it. Like, she's just so little. My little mama is little. But because when I had her last doctor's appointment, they said she was 6 pounds and 14 ounces. So I'm thinking like, oh yeah, she's going to come out a big baby. She's going to come out about 7 pounds. Because I was 7 pounds and 5 ounces. Oh, and she was also 19 inches long. I was 7 pounds, 5 ounces, and I was 19 inches long. And she was 6 pounds and 5 ounces and 19 inches long. So, yeah. She's a good baby, you guys. Like, she's a really good baby. That's what she does most of the time. I do breastfeed too, so I've been doing pretty good. She don't wake up that many times in the night, really. But, yeah, I'm probably just going to do another video all about her. Tell you guys, like, a lot about her or whatever. But, yep. That was my labor and delivery story, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Wish she was woke so y'all can see her little attitude she be having. But, yeah, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Bye.